Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to summer course in medical physics in 2024. Thank you so much for staying tuned until this sixth day. And now we will continue our summer course, still in the realm of image quality in the CT image. Before we start our lecture session, I want to remind for all participants to fill the attendance list that have been given by the committee in the chat room. So your presence can be recognized by the committee. And now I want to announce that as the schedule, this morning session will discuss about the low contrast detectability, but we will switch other topics. So in the morning session, we will discuss about the slice thickness, slice spacing, and its measurement using IndoQCT. While in the afternoon session, we will discuss about low contrast detectability and its measurement using IndoQCT. And for this morning session, the topic will be delivered by Dr. Hoirul Anam. And so without any further ado, please welcome Dr. Hoirul Anam.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, everyone. Today, inshallah, we will continue our summer course in the second week. And now we will discuss regarding the slice thickness and its measurement. Actually, schedule of this morning is on low contrast detectability, but I switch. Low contrast detectability will be delivered in the afternoon about the slice thickness, because the slice thickness is more easier. So easier compared to the LCD. So I will start with the easier one, and then in the afternoon session we will discuss harder on the LCD, low contrast detectability. Okay. Slice thickness and its measurement using IndoQCT. Okay. This is our topics, slice thickness and on also the slice spacing. So in this morning, we not only will discuss on the slice thickness, but also the slice spacing. Okay. It is, I think, very nice metrics to characterize the slice spacing. Okay, this is the topics overview of these topics: introduction, and then slice thickness measurement on the CAT Venn phantom, and then we move to the slice thickness measurement on the AAPM phantom, and then we move to the second one on the RCR phantom, and then we move to the vendors phantom such as the GE, Siemens, Philips, Usoft phantom. And then we also discuss on the slice profile quality index, SPQI. I don't know, maybe one of you, maybe this is the first time to hear the SPQI, but actually this metric is already introduced by Professor Willy Callender in his book. And by using the IndoQCT, we can measure SPQI very easily. And in the last and the end of the session, I will show you how to measure the SPQI easily using the IndoQCT. And the last we will discuss on the slice spacing. Okay. Slice thickness. So for the obtain the three-dimensional images, the important parameters in the z-axis is the slice thickness. Okay, so the slice thickness is the slice thickness of the image. It means that the image actually, even we have the two-dimensional, but actually there is three-dimensional image. So if we have the wider slide thickness, meaning that in the z-axis, the pixel value, the new parameters will be averaged to get the slice the average slice thickness. So if our slice thickness is relatively wider, there is another parameter occur called as the beam volume averaging artifact. Volume averaging artifacts. So, but if our slice thickness is very small, the averaging artifact is lower, but our image will be noisy. So, in the clinical application, we should choose the slice thickness wisely, depend on our clinical setting. So, this is the slice thickness. It is the important parameters in the image quality and also the dose received by patient. Okay, another slice parameters is the slice spacing. So if we want to get the very good image in the three-dimensional image, it is not only consider the slice thickness, but also the slice spacing. But the slice spacing, it is not mandatory by anybody, such as the Bapeten or IAEA or AAPM. They don't mandate to us to measure because the measuring slice spacing is relatively difficult. But by using the IndeQCT, we can also measure the slice spacing easily. Okay, and we will see together at the end of this session. Okay, this is the slice thickness. Slice thickness and also the slice spacing. Okay, the method to obtain the slice thickness is difficult, not difficult, it's different from the one slice CT and multi-slice CT. In the slice CT, the slice thickness is defined, depend on the beam collimation. Okay, and we can see here by using the beam collimation, and we have the umbra penumbra region, and this entire umbra penumbra region is called as the slice thickness. So in the single slice CT, the slice thickness is governed, is defined by the collimation, pre-patient collimation. Okay, because the detector is similar, the detector only one detector in the z-axis with white areas, white lines in the z axis. So the beam from the X-ray source will be collimated with the collimation, and collimation can be set very small or very wide. So this set of the collimation will lead to the slice thickness. If the collimation set very wide, it led to the very wide slice thickness. It is very easy in the single slice CT. But after the introduction of the MDCT, multi-detector CT, slice thickness is not longer directly governed by the collimation and also detector slice width. In the MDCT, the slice thickness is selected by the software. So we have the cyanogram, and after that we can reconstruct to get the image, and we can decide the slice thickness based on using the software on the cyanogram we already obtained previously. So the thinner slice thickness is limited, not only not depend on the collimation and detector width, but depend on our setting in the software. Okay, and after in the investment of the city, so the slice thickness is become smaller and smaller. Okay, and now the most of city vendor provide sub millimeters of the slice thickness, meaning the slice thickness is lower than 1 millimeter. Okay, and if the slice thickness is lower than 1 millimeter, so the size of the voxel volumes element is become relatively similar in the X, Y, and Z axis. Okay, like this. Okay, and as we already mentioned, that the slice thickness affect the cross-plane resolution of the clinical image, which then impact the accuracy of the size determination of the organ. Okay, so if we want to get the better image resolution in the Z-axis, we should choose the very small slice thickness. But as already mentioned, the image will be noisy. But if we set the slice thickness become wider, so the image is less noise, but the spatial resolution is compromised. So we can set the slice thickness depend on our clinical setting. For example, if we want to get the very high spatial resolution image of our lung, for example, we should set slice thickness to be smaller. But if we want to get the very less noisy image, we can set a wider slice thickness. Okay, so in the clinical setting, we should choose the slice thickness wisely, depend on the clinical setting. This is a study done by the Prionas and published in the Journal of Applied Clinical Medical Physics, JSCMP, and they assess the dependency between the slice thickness and volume accuracy. And we can see here, based on the graph, it is clearly seen that the slice thickness becomes smaller, then the accuracy of the volume is higher. Okay, so if we want to get the more accurate volume definition, we should use the smaller slice thickness. But I already said that the image will be noisy. Okay. If it is possible to get the image with the very the similar size in the X, Y, and Z, if we use the wider slice thickness, of course we can obtain that, but by using the interpolation. Of course, by using the interpolation, the image is because this is only interpolation, so the image is not good enough. So if we want to get the excellent spatial resolution in the Z-axis, we should set our slice thickness smaller. Okay, like that. This is another study done by the Hopperts and published in the Skeletal Radiology. We can see here, this is the image of the hip and reconstructed and reformatted. The image is scanned with the different slice thickness and then reformatted to the axial plane. And we can see here, by using the very small slice thickness, the spatial resolution is better compared to the relatively wide slice thickness. 1 millimeter is better compared to, for example, 4 millimeters. But we can see here, but the image is noisy. This is another example in the book written by the Professor Hessier, the similar one. By using the smaller slice thickness, the spatial resolution is better. And we can see by using the very small slice thickness, the detail of the bone is already seen clearly here. But by using the relatively wide slice thickness, the detail of the image is lost. You can see here together. This is another example of the image of the stand. The A and B. It is the image scanned with the different slice thickness. The A is with the very small slice thickness, and the B with the wider slice thickness. And we can see here the image of the stand is clearly seen of its detail by using the small slice thickness. But the detail is gone if we use the wider slice thickness. So the slice thickness has the direct impact on the image noise. So the decreasing of the slice thickness will increase the noise, and if the reconstructed is increased, that the noise will be lesser. Okay, if we set the slice thickness smaller, then the image will be noisy. So to compensate, we can use the increase of the MAS. Of course, the dose will increase. So there are many parameters in the input, so we can set the input parameters wisely to get the good or excellent image quality based on our clinical purpose with the relatively possible dose like that. This is the optimization. This is the study done by the Manson. We can see here with the very small slice thickness 0.75 to the 10 millimeters. We can see here clearly if the small slice thickness, the image will be noisy, and with the 10 millimeters of slice thickness, the noise is less. But the detail of the image is clearly seen with the very small slice thickness. So in the clinical setting, depend on our purpose. Okay, so it is need of the slice thickness optimization, meaning that the slice thickness has to be optimized as needed based on the clinical purposes. To thick, the small object will be less visible, but the image is less noisy. And to thin, the image will be noisy, but the detail is very good. Okay, so we should choose based on the clinical setting. Okay, and the slice thickness is already shown in the DICOM header, and also already saved in the DICOM header. So we should test to ensure that the display slice thickness is similar to the exact slice thickness, to the specified slice thickness. So to measure the slice thickness, the slice thickness should be measured in the routine quality control, and also in Indonesia in the compliance test. Okay. This is the IAA standard for the image slice thickness or the image slice width. The standard based on the IAA standard is 0.5 for the slice thickness less than 1 millimeters, and the slice thickness should be within 50% for the slice thickness from 1 to 2 millimeters, and for the slice thickness above the 2 millimeters, the slice thickness should be within 1 millimeters. It is based on the IAA standard. But I think the other agencies such as the Bapeten or ACR or other agencies, they have the different standard. This is the standard from the Indonesia Bapeten. The slice thickness should be less than 0.5 millimeters. But actually, it is difficult to get the slice thickness differences lower than 0.5 millimeters. So for measuring the slice thickness, we can use the many phantom. These are the example of the 3 phantoms already used for the measuring a slice thickness. The first one is the AAPM phantom. We can use this object. Yeah, these 3 objects. And then in the second one is the image of the RCR phantom. And it is very simple for the manual one by counting the number of the object here. And this one is the image, example image from the cat phantom. Okay, and then in the next we will try to explain, and also after that we try to measure them by using the IndoQCT. Okay, this is the object for measuring the slice thickness. For the APM, there are 3 objects, and RCR there are 2 objects, and for the CADFM there are 4 objects. Okay, and now we move to the measuring of the slice thickness on the CADFM phantom. Okay. Actually, the CADFM phantom, there are many series, and this example using the series 500. Okay, and for measuring the slice thickness, we use this module CTP401. Okay, we can see here there is the line consists from the wire, and then the wire is set with inkling with the very small angles. Right here, the angle is only 23 degrees, and there are four wires inclined with 23 degrees. By using this module. Okay, and if we scan this module, and then we will get the image in 2-dimensional in axial plane like this. This is the line object, the wire object. The image looks like this, like this. So to measure the slice thickness, it is very simple by measuring the length of this line. And after we getting the length of this line, and then simply multiplied by tangen 23 or 0.4, like that. But basically it is very easy, and we can use the various DICOM software such as the micro DICOM or other software. This is if we see the image in the z-axis, this is a schematic diagram of the RCR phantom in the z-axis. Okay, and if we have the slice thickness like this, so then the gray image indicates the slice thickness. Okay, and if we scan this object with the specific slice thickness like this, and then we this is the triangles. So we see here that the slice thickness is like this, and in the image will be projection projection of this line. So in the image, we will get the line like this one. So the actual slice thickness like this, and the image we get length like this one. So this one is length of our image, and the Z is actually the slice thickness. So it is very easy to get the slice thickness. The slice thickness is the full width at half maximum length of our image of the line of the wire, and then multiply by the tangent angle. It is 23 degrees. So basically very easy to obtain the slice thickness using the Cat-Van tool. Okay, so we have the 4 lines here, this one, and this one, and then we measure the length and we multiply by the tangent 23 degrees. Okay, and it is a more objective way if we not only measure the length, but we measure its profile, and then we can measure the full width at half maximum of the profile. It is better compared to the only just measuring the length of the line. But maybe we will try together at the end of the session by using the just measuring the length and also measuring the full width at half maximum of the profile of the line. Okay, and it is the process. So we make the ROI here, and then it is our values, pixel values or city numbers of the ROI, and then we get the one values in the line like this, and then we can draw the graph like this. It is the profile of the line, and after that we detect the maximum values and also the minimum values, and then we decide the half maximum, and then we draw the line, the length of the profile at the half maximum. This parameter is called as the full width at half maximum. It is actually the length of the line. So after that, we just multiply with the tangent 23 degrees. So it is the values of the slice thickness. Slice thickness or slice width. Slice width is the FEM, full width at half maximum multiplied by the tangent 23 degrees. Okay, it is very easy to measure using the IndoQCT. We can measure either manual and also automatic one. And we can also based on the length of the line and also based on the F full width at half maximum. Okay, by using the IndoQCT. Okay, so if you want to measure using IndoQCT, you should open your image first, and then you can choose the type of the phantom, and then you can choose the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, number 6, like this for measuring the slice thickness, and then after that we have the 3 subtype, and we choose the number 1 slice thickness like this, and then you can change the input parameters. You can choose the manual one or automatic one, and you can also choose the actually if you choose the automatic one, the software, the IndoQCT will detect the object automatically, and this detection depend on the, for example, the whole object and depend on the another objects. So you can choose the correct one. For the standard, we use the whole one, and we can set only in one slice, and we can choose average of the more than one slice. Okay, it is very easy basically using the IndoQCT. This is our result, and this is our profile of the line object for measuring the slice thickness. And the software will automatically detect the maximum values and also the minimum values, and then detect the half maximum, and then we draw automatically the line, and we measure the full width at half maximum automatically by using the software. And this is the result. So this is our result. This is the slice thickness. The full width at half maximum multiplied by the tangent 23 degrees. And this example, we get the values 2.57. And the IndoQCT will also display the slice thickness from the DICOM header. This one, the set is from the DICOM header, and then the IndoQCT compare the measured one to the set one, and we have the difference either in the millimeters and also in the percent. And also we have the standard with the APM or other agencies, and then we can set it is pass or fail. Okay, this is the IndoQCT for measuring the slice thickness on the CAD Phantom. Okay. And now we move to the APM Phantom. The APM Phantom. So for measuring the APM Phantom, this is the photograph of the APM Phantom, and this one is the module for measuring the slice thickness. So the APM is not using the wire, instead using the plug of the aluminium like this, 3 plugs aluminium, and this is the example of the image of the module for measuring the slice thickness. And we can measure the slice thickness by using the width of this object like this. And this is the paper written by my teams last year, and this paper is already published in the JACMP, Journal of Applied Clinical Medical Physics, and you can download this paper freely, and you can follow the method how to automatically measure the slice thickness, and the algorithm is described clearly in this paper. Okay, and this is the 3 object. This is the diagram in the z-axis, and this is the example diagram in the axial plane, and this is the real image, example of the real image of the module from the APM Phantom for measuring the slice thickness. So, and this is for example the position of the beam for measuring the slice thickness, and this is the object obtained in the axial image. We have the 3 objects here, and this is the real example of the Phantom. And this is the process how to automatically measure the slice thickness. So the software will detect the center object, and we can also choose not only the center. We can also measure just this one or this one, or all 3 of these objects. And then we detect the angles of the object by using the half transformation. And after that, we detect the center, and we detect the angles of this object, and then we can rotate the object, or we can just only draw the line with the specific angles. It can be chosen by using the IndoQCT, and then we get the profile along this line, along this object, across this object, and we can detect the maximum value and minimum value, and eventually we have the full width at half maximum, and then we multiply with the and with the angle of the RAM object, because in the ABM the angle is 45, so the tangent of the 45 is 1. So in the ABM Phantom, the full width f at half maximum directly indicates the slice thickness, because the tangent of 45 is 1. Okay, and then in the paper we evaluate the slice thickness with the variation of the slice thickness, and also we try with variation of the filter reconstruction. It is our software can detect the object or not. So we try to evaluate on the various filter reconstruction. This is our result. And this is another study by my student, and they evaluate the algorithm on the different slice thickness and with the different noise level. Because if the noise is less, so it is easy to detect the object and the angle of the object. But if the image is noisy, so it is relatively difficult to get the accurate position and also the angle of the object. Okay, and by using the IndoQCT, we can measure relatively accurate of the slice thickness by using the AAPM Phantom. Okay, this is the for measuring the slice thickness using the IndoQCT. We can the first we set the Phantom type, and then we choose the slice thickness tab, and then we choose the slice thickness subtab, and then we get the profile like this, and the software will automatically obtain the full width at half maximum, and then we have the measured slice thickness. Yeah, as already mentioned, the slice thickness is the FWSM, a full width at half maximum. So the full width at half maximum directly indicate the slice thickness because the angle is 45 degrees. Okay, this is our result. And now we move to the RCR Phantom. So for measuring the slice thickness using RCR Phantom is relatively different compared to the two previous Phantom. So this is the design for of the object for measuring the slice thickness. It is not using the wire or using the plates material, but it is used the holes. So the Phantom is drilled to make the holes, and then the object is inserted to this hole, and the hole is designed like this in this position. In the z-axis, we can see the angle, the very shallow angle. It is in the RCR Phantom, the angle is around, I think, 15 degrees like this. And if we scan this object, and then we will obtain the axial image like this. So for measuring the slice thickness is just counting this object, and this object is separated by the distance of 1 millimeters. So this 1 millimeters, 2, 3, 4, 5 millimeters, and this one is half. So half, 1, 1.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 multiplied by the half. So in this example, we will obtain around 5 millimeters. So the RCR Phantom is designed for easier use by using only the counting the object. So to measure the slice thickness, we do not use the caliper, electric caliper, instead by using only counting and this object. So for the manual one, the OCR Phantom is easier compared to the CAD-FAN or APM. But for the automatic one, so it is rather difficult to develop the algorithm to tackle this issue in the automatic one. Okay, this is another example of the image. You can see here, because the number of the object is more in this example, so we consider that this image is scanned with the wider slice thickness compared to this one. This is another example. We can see here by counting and this object, and you can see here, if we use the small slice thickness, the object is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5, but the image is lighter. And if we use the wide slice thickness, for example, 7.5 millimeters, and we can see many objects here, and the pixel values is lower. Why? Yeah, it is because of the pixel averaging artifact, as already mentioned before. Yeah, because of the pixel averaging artifact. Okay, so it is actually not difficult to develop the software to tackle this issue, because the pixel values is different from the very small slice thickness to the very wide slice thickness. Okay, this is in the example. So it is the method for automatic detection using the IndoQCT. So it is difficult to directly detect this object. Instead, we detect this material. This is the bone object. And based on this material, and then we search accurately the location of the RAM material like this. So, and then the software will draw the true lines, the blue lines, and we get the profiles, the profile like this, and then we use the threshold value. In this example, we set to 0.2, and then we normalize first. Yeah, as already mentioned, because the pixel value is different from the one slice thickness to another, so we make the normalization like this. So the maximum value will be 1 unity, and then we set the threshold, in this example 0.2, and then we count the peak of in the profile like this. In this example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the total peaks is 9, and then we divide by 2. So the result in this example is 4.5 millimeters. So it is the automatic algorithm for measuring the slice thickness on the OCR Phantom. This is the example, the figure, the graphical user interface of the IndoQCT for measuring the slice thickness. So as usual, we set the type of the phantom, and then we choose the type of the slice thickness, and then subtype of the slice thickness. And this is the example of the profile, and this is the threshold value. And of course, we can change this threshold by using this one, threshold 0.35 or 0.4 or 0.45 and so on. So it depends on your image. Okay, and you can also perform the study. What is the optimum values? I don't know. Maybe we can use the many images with the different slice thickness, and then we can set the optimum values of the threshold to get the more accurate result of the slice thickness. Like this is the threshold. Again, this is our result. Yeah. like this. We have the top position and the bottom position, and then we average the both values, and we get this result, the average one. And also we also obtain the set values from the DICOM info, and then we can compare the two values, and this is the difference in the millimeters and in the percent. Okay, and then we move to the measuring slice thickness using the different phantom, using GE phantom, Siemens phantom, Philips phantom, Newsoft phantom. Of course, each vendor has the very unique design of the phantom for measuring the slice thickness. So in the QCT can already measure all the type of phantom available in the market. This is the Siemens phantom, and this is using the object similar to the AFM phantom, using the plate of the aluminum, but only one. And for measuring slice thickness, we just measure this one, this object. Okay, and this one is the Philips phantom, similar to the Siemens, using the two objects in the top and the bottom like this. And this one is the GE phantom. The GE phantom is similar to the RCR phantom by using the phantom will be drilled to get the holes, and the holes will be filled with water, and you can see here. So the GE and also RCR very easier for the manual one. Yeah, but for the automatic one is relatively difficult to make the algorithm to measure the slice thickness on this phantom. Okay, and this one is a Newsoft phantom. The Newsoft phantom, I think it is relatively similar to the Siemens phantom, only using the one aluminum plate. So it is like this. Okay, this is the evaluation. You can see you can read in this paper describing method how to measure the slice thickness. So the slice thickness sometimes called as the slice sensitivity profile. It is the profile of the slice thickness. It is studied by the Green, published in the Journal of Applied Clinical Medical Physics. And you can see here, compared to the set slice thickness. So if the slice thickness is wider, so the result, the differences is very small. But if the slice thickness is very small, so the difference to the set values is relatively high. You can see here. Okay, and now it is new parameters I already introduced. Actually, not new from me, but I think many books already describe the distance between slices or slice spacing. But for the practical method of the slice thickness, no, not slice thickness, but slice spacing, yeah, it is, I think, new, and it is already in the QCT, so you can use easily for measuring the distance between slices or slice spacing. Okay, it is the theory, the distance between slices. So in identifying the accuracy of the volumetric properties of the city, so there are two parameters: slice thickness and distance between slices or slice spacing. So it is not enough actually for only guarantee the accurate of the slice thickness, but we should also have the accuracy of the slice spacing, because these two parameters is very important and affecting to the accuracy of the three-dimensional images. Okay, as depicted by using this figure. we can see here that the accurate 3D dimensional images is not only depend on the slice thickness, but also depend on the slice spacing. We can see here, even the slice thickness is accurate. If the slice spacing is not accurate, our result in the three-dimensional image is not accurate also. So the slice spacing is important. As the slice thickness. Okay. So in my opinion, it is just my opinion, the slice spacing is important and should be measured in the routine quality control also. But the regulatory bodies such as the APM, such as the IAEA, of course, they don't ask us to measure the slice spacing. Okay. The slice spacing. It is the example. How important is the slice spacing? And this is the study. And this is in the book of the Professor Hesse books. Okay. They studied the acquisition mode, the slice thickness, and also image spacing. And then they have the volume accuracy. And we can see here, if the slice thickness and slice spacing is relatively wider, so the accuracy is less compared to the very narrow image spacing and slice spacing. This is the result of the very small object in the three-dimensional images. Okay, this is the method how to measure the slice spacing, and this algorithm is already published in the Journal of Medical Physics, and you can download this paper freely because this paper is open access, so you can download and read carefully this paper. So basically, the method like this. This is this example is the diagram of the APM phantom, of course. Previously this object is only used for measuring the slice thickness, and now we will use this material for measuring the slice spacing. So this object in this example, we have the two slices here. This one is the slice number 1, and this one is slice number 2. And this one is the example image. This is the number 1, slice number 2. And then we automatically detect the object in the center object. We get this one. And then we combine these two images. So we get the image like this. And then the slice spacing is just distance between two objects. So it is basically very easy to measure the slice spacing. Okay, but but we should use the software. Yeah, because to combine the two images, it is used the software. Okay, this is the two material, two slices. Yeah. And then we measure the distance by using this equation. Okay, like this. This is the paper describing the method. The practical method for slice spacing measurement using the APM phantom, published this year in the Journal of Medical Physics. This is, and then we evaluate the method, the images with the different slice spacing, different slice thickness, and also with the different field of view. And fortunately, the method works well. Okay, this is the result. And how to measure the slice thickness, slice spacing using the IndoQCT. Okay, we choose the type of phantom. In this example, using APM. Then we choose the slice thickness step, and then we choose step number 3, slice spacing, and then we should change the number slice. In this example, because in the example images of the APM phantom, the phantom modules. The modules containing the object like this in number 1 and number 3. So we choose number 1 and then number 3 like this. It is depend on your image. For example, maybe your image number 100 and then number 101. So you can change this number of pixel. For example, 100 and 101 like this. And then you only just click this button. Okay, and then you will get the result like this. So this distance is the distance between slices or slice spacing. And in the QCT, okay, the slice spacing actually is already available in the DICOM info, but not all DICOM info contain this information. So in this in the QCT, we also get the values from the DICOM info, but not directly the distance between slice, but we get the information of the slice position for the slice number 1, and then we get also the slice position from the slice number 2, and then we already subtract the position, and this is the result, the slice spacing set like this. And this one is the position of the object number 1, this one is the position of object number 2, and this one is the distance between two positions. And this values is considered as the distance between slices. Okay, and then we can also compare the difference between the set values. This one. Okay, and then the last one, I will present about the slice profile quality index. Okay, so you can see here the length from this position to this position, okay, is the slice thickness in one slice CT scanning, okay, like this. And you can see here that the profile may be different in each CT machine, because each CT scanner is designed uniquely by the vendors and using the different input parameters. So for example, by using the axial scanning mode, by using the helical modes with different pitch values, so the profile will be different. The profile of the slice thickness will be different. So the quality of the slice, the quality of the profile, okay, it is can be characterized by using the parameters of the SPQI. So the SPQI is just the area bounded by the nominal slice width, like this, the all areas. So this one, from this one to this, in this location, this one, and divided by the area of ideal profile. So the ideal profile is like this, rectangle profile, and then we multiply by 100%. Okay, this is the example of the profile of the slice thickness with different input parameters, for example. And this is the example. If we use the ideal rectangles, it will be like this, rectangle object. Using the conventional CT, meaning using the axial mode, the result like this. It is when if we use the spiral CT. So the spiral CT, if we use the different pitch, so the result, so the profile is different if we use the different pitch values. Okay, so this is the SPQI parameters. Okay, by using the IndoQCT, it is basically very easy to measure the SPQI by using this one. We choose the phantom types, and then we choose the type of the slice thickness, and then we choose the subtype of the SPQI, and then we set the parameters, this one, and then click this calculate button, and then we get the result automatically. So it is the conclusion. The slice thickness test ensure the user that the displayed image represent the specified thickness of the tissue. And slice thickness measurements should be carried out using specific phantom such as APM phantom, RCR phantom, CAT phantom, or phantom from the manufacturer such as the GE, Siemens, Philips, Neusoft, Canon, and so on. And slice spacing test is also important since the accuracy of the volume of the particular organ is dependent on it. Okay, by using the IndoQCT, we can measure these all parameters. Okay, I think that's all from me, and then we will try together to measure the slice thickness and also slice spacing and also SPQI using IndoQCT. Okay, please open your IndoQCT. Okay, I will open my IndoQCT. Okay, and the IndoQCT is already open. Okay, and now we will try to measure the slice thickness, maybe on the APM phantom for the first example. So, yeah, the example. So in the example of the APM phantom, we have 8 images. This is and slice number 1, number 2, number 3. So okay, like this. And for measuring the slice thickness, we should choose tab number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6, this one, slice thickness. Okay, and this is slice thickness. And we can measure the slice thickness automatic method or by using the manual method. In this example, we first try the manual one. Click the manual one. And we have 2 method option by using the profile on or ruler. In this example, I will try using a ruler first. Ruler. And then we have the show ruler. And then I click this ruler like this. And then I zoom in this image. And we move the position of the end of the ruler. Maybe in this position. And then we in this position like this. And then I zoom in again to get the wider image. Okay, maybe like this. I think it is like this, So in the manual one, so it is subjective based on the experience of the examiner. Okay, and after the all thing is already, so we have result like this. The set values, it is 5 millimeters. This 5 is from the DICOM info. And our measurement, manual measurement, is the 5.61. This is our measurement. So if we, for example, change the position, so the result will be different. This one is the 6. So the manual measurement is depend on our experience and maybe different from one person to another. Okay, this is the manual one using a ruler. And then I remove, and then I back to the standard field of view, standard size. And then we will try manual one using the profile. Okay. So if we click the profile using the manual one, and then we have the two button here, show roller button and show profile button. Okay, and then we click the show roller button first. Okay, and then we get the line, and then we make this line in this position across the object like this. So we will make a profile across this material. Okay, after that, we just click the show profile. So profile like this. This is our profile. So our profile, and then we can manually through the line to measure the full width at half maximum. Okay, in this example, I click this through button, and then I make the line here. This is like this, maybe. Okay, like this. Okay, like this. Okay, if we consider it is accurate enough, so it is finished, and then we just look for in this location. So this is our result. The set values, it is 5 millimeters, and the measured using the profile, using the full width at the half maximum manually, we get the result 5.48 like this. Okay, this is the manual one. And if you use the automatic method, you just click this to the automatic one. So, and this is the method we can choose the no rotation or using the rotation method, meaning and you can try by yourself using the threshold dynamic as already mentioned, because the pixel values of the object is different because of the averaging artifact, the pixel averaging artifact. So you can use the dynamic one, or you can set static one, the threshold. Okay, in this example, we use the standard one, the no rotation and dynamic. And you can set the star, for example, if you choose the middle, so the measurement will be measured in the middle object like this. And we just click this button. Okay, and we automatically get the position like this. This is our lines, and then we have the profile like this, and then we automatically obtain the full width at half maximum, and we have the measured result like this. So the result will be 5.24 millimeters. It is using the middle one, and we can also choose the average, meaning that we use these three objects together, and we average to these parameters, three objects. Just click this button, and we automatically this like this. Okay, it is our result, our profile of our lines, and this is our profile, and this is our result. So it is, I think, very easy to measure the slice thickness on the APM Phantom. Okay, is there any question before we move to another example? Okay, maybe I continue first, and then we discuss at the end of this session. Okay, and then I will try to measure the slice thickness using the OCR Phantom. OCR Phantom. Yeah, this is the OCR Phantom, and we choose the object like this until the radio opaque is clearly seen. Yeah, like this. So we should choose the module if the radio opaque for measuring the as discussed by Professor Wahyu previously, for measuring the laser alignment like this. Okay. And this is the object. And now we will try to measure the slice thickness manually using the RCR Phantom. Okay, so if you want to measure the manual one, so just do the manual one. Okay, and we have the object counted, so we can count manually for the top object and the bottom object. Okay, and then I will zoom in this object like this, and we just measure, we just count the object. Maybe it is depend on our expertise, depend on our experience. In this example, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I write that is 11 like this, and then we back, and then we zoom in the bottom object, and then we count again, maybe 1. Okay, your opinion, this object can be counted or not? Yeah, so it is subjective, I think. Okay, in this example, I will count this object: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe 12, or maybe someone count this is 11. Also, it is depend on the personnel to do this measurement. In this occasion, I just 12, and after that, he just calculate this button. Okay, and this is the result. The set values 5 millimeters, and the top object 5.5, and the bottom object is 6. So the average will be 5.75. Okay, like this. This is the manual one. And if we measure the automatic one, so the process will be done by the computer automatically. We just click this button. And for the standard, the threshold is 0.35. Of course, you can change this threshold. Okay, we by clicking this button, and we already have the result. This is our segmentation, and this is our profile of the top object, and this one is the profile of the bottom object, and we have the result like this. In this, you can see here, yeah, like this. So and the left 5.5, and the right 5. So the result will be 5.25. So the difference is 0.25, and in the percent will be 5%. Okay, it is for measuring the slice thickness using RCR Phantom, and also for measuring the slice thickness in the CAD-FAN Phantom. Okay, but the CAD-FAN Phantom, there are 4 objects. Maybe you can see the example for CAD-FAN Phantom. In the QCT is limited on the 3 type of Phantom. Maybe in the next we will add the types of the Phantom and also the type of specific Phantom. Okay, in this example, I will try using the CAD-FAN 604. It is just only the example. Now this is the result. So we have the 4 objects for measuring the slice thickness: number 1, number 2, number 3, and 4. Okay, and if we want to measure the manual one, if we click the manual one, so we have the profile and also the ruler. So we just measure the length. Okay, and I think now we will try to measure the automatic one. For the automatic one, This is the object reference. So it is actually difficult to detect the angle of the phantom. Maybe the phantom is slightly rotated, for example. And it is difficult because we use the half transformation, and it is difficult if the slice thickness is very small, because this object is not like the line, but it seems to be point. So it is difficult to detect the angle of the object. Okay, like this. So for example, for the measurement, there are slight inclination, slight angle, for example, like this. So by using the indocusity, it is not problem, because the indocusity will detect the angle of the object by using the half transformation. So this is the result. This is our phantom, our rotated phantom, and then we automatically draw the lines, and we can see here that the line is accurate enough in the location and also the angles to cover the line object like this, and we have the result like this. Okay, we back to the phantom. Okay, this is for measuring the slice thickness. And now we move to the for measuring the slice spacing, and I will back to the AIPM phantom. This is the AIPM phantom. So for measuring the slice spacing, we should use at least 2 slices containing the slice thickness. Okay, like this. So this is the slice number 1, and this is the slice number 2. And I say this is the slice number 1. Number 2 is not the object for measuring slice thickness, and number 3 it is example. Okay, I can answer this one, for example. Okay, and you can see here the object for measuring slice thickness is object number 1 and number 3 in this example. So for measuring the slice spacing, we should change the slice number 1 is in this example is 1, and number 2 in this example is 3 like this, and then we just click this button. Okay, this is our result. This is the segmentation in the slice number 1, and this is the example of the slice number 2, and this one number 1, number 2, this one you can see here, and then we detect the central position of the object, and also the central position of the object, and then we combine the central object into a single image, and then we automatically measure the distance between the 2 center objects. And this 2 center object is considered as the slice spacing, or distance between slices, between 2 slices. Okay, this is basically very easy. And we can also measure the distance between slices on the its object, its phantom. For example, the CAD phantom, OCR phantom, GE phantom, and so on. And now we move to the parameters number 3, SPQI. Okay, like this, SPQI. So the slice profile quality index. Okay, and then we use the slice number 1, and we can measure manual one, and we can also measure. In these parameters, we only measure automatic one, automatic one. Okay, and we use in this example, we measure the slice number 1, and then we calculate like this. Okay, and we have, this is the segmentation and line for measuring the profile, and then we have this like this one. We have the profile. This was is the half values of the maximum, and then we measure the area under the curve within the half values, and then we also measure the ideal profile, and then we divide the area with the ideal area, and we have the result like this. The SPQI is 9.34% in this example. Of course, this parameters is no standard, no standard in the AAPM or IAEA or other agencies. Okay, I think that's all for me, from me. And if you have any question or any idea, please let me know. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Dr. Anam, for your presentation regarding the slide thickness. And now we will move to the discussion session. Before I give the opportunity to the audience, I want to ask first about the SPQI, Doctor. We know that the ideal profile is 100% and is, please correct me if I am wrong, that is the ideal profile is assumed by ignoring the penumbra of the X-ray exposure. Is it right, Doctor?
Yeah, there are no penumbra, and I think the source is actually the point source, and then the design of the collimation is exactly, and then the detector also the very ideal. So if all things are ideal, we hope the profile also ideal, but it is not case in the application because there are no ideal in the real world. Okay. So
Thank you so much.
so the SPQI is important because there are no ideals in the real world.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Anam, for the answer. And there is a question from offline participant from Miss Gita.
Okay, thank you. I want to ask to Mr. Anam, why the wires for measure the wire? Why the wire for measure the slice thickness must to be tilted?
Yeah.
And one again, if the phantom is rotation, will it affect the measure of slice thickness?
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
you.
Okay, you asked me about the wire. Why the design of the phantom, the wire should be designed with the specific angles like that. Yeah, this is because this is the design of the phantom manufacturer, and of course this is should have the angles because we measure the slice thickness. Slice thickness meaning the distance in the z-axis, but the measurement should be in x and y axis. So we should have the projection in the x-y axis. So actually the slice thickness in the z-axis, but we measure in y and x and y axis. So we should have the projection in the y, x and y axis. So it is why we should have the inclination of the wire object like that. And it is important to make the wire with very small angle. So if the design with a very small angle, meaning very shallow angle, so the projection will be longer. So it is more easier to measure the slice thickness. But if the angle is relatively high, so the angle is so the object will be shorter. So the result, the accuracy is lower. So it is why the angle is shallow angle. So the design is different. For example, for the CAT fan using the 23-degree, AAPM using relatively high, 45-degree, and then Siemens, I think, using 23-degree, AAPM using around 15-degree. So the the different manufacturer have their own design. But theoretically, the shallow angle, the small angle is better compared to the high angles. Okay, do you understand what I mean?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And then your question is there any effect if the phantom is rotated? Of course, yeah. So we should measure the slice thickness with the very good alignment of the phantom. So because we employ the tail of the object, so if the phantom is not in good position, for example, there are small tail like that, for example. So the projection is combination between the object and the tail. So our result will not accurate enough. So it is important to measure the slice thickness with the good position of the phantom. But sometimes our phantom position is not in good position. For example, there is a little bit tilting and there is little bit rotation. In some cases, there is already exists in the clinical setting. It is the problem, and the QCT still able to measure the slice thickness. Even our phantom has small rotation or have the small inclination. Okay. So basically, if we want to obtain the more accurate result, so the phantom should be placed in the very best position, in the proper position. Okay. So in the clinical setting, it should be done by the professional medical physicists. Yeah. So it is need the professional medical physicists or certified medical physicists to ensure that our result is accurate enough, because the positioning of the phantom, the input parameters, it is in a good choice and good alignment. There are, it is why we need the certified medical physicists, the good medical physicists in the clinical practice. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kita, for the question and Dr. Anam for the answer. And I will give the opportunity to Hanen, Mr. Hanen first to deliver his question.
Thank you, moderator.
Waalaikumsalam.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Halo, Mr. Anam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you for your presentation. Last week, I have asked to Mr. Anam about the slice thickness. Last week, about in the measurement on the Phantom City Siemens dedicated, and I think any participant have the same experience this issue, especially on the Siemens Phantom dedicated. I have discussed with Mr. Aris Noval this same issue, and this is the problem or this issue about the slice thickness, the measurement, with the less slice thickness 2 millimeter is the correct get result, but if I using more than 2 millimeter, it is not acceptable with the reference or Bapeten. It is possible about the reason if PVA or anything about the partial volume average or any issue or any factor about this issue.
Yeah.
And I have the comparison with the slice thickness the automatically and manually, and I get this issue same the condition in the less 2 millimeter more than 2 millimeter is not acceptable. So and Mr. Anam have sent to me the paper about the automatically measurement CT scan Phantom Siemens, and I reading and I get the same the measurement and the confirmation this iPhone the issue. Thank you, Mr. Anam.
Okay, thanks very much for your comments and also for your discussion before. Yeah, the slice thickness is affecting by many factors. Yeah, because in CT image there are so many factors, and many factors will affect to the image quality and also to the slice thickness. So it is why we should measure the slice thickness in the clinical setting, because the parameters affecting the image quality may be dominant. So we should ensure that everything in the good condition and within the standard tolerance level set by the government or by the standard agencies. Okay. The slice thickness maybe is not within the standard because of our CT scanner, because maybe the quality of our system is decreased. It can be. Yes, maybe, for example, for measuring the beam collimation, or there are bugs in our software and so on. So it is affecting to our result. So it is possible that our machine is not in good condition. This is the first one. And the second one, it is important also to guarantee our good Phantom. Maybe the problem is not our CT scanner, but the problem is our Phantom, for example. It is possible also, especially for the Siemens Phantom, because the Siemens Phantom is the many modules, and the modules and then combine to make one Phantom, and each Phantom is attached by one specific attachment material. And in some condition, maybe the attachment is not in good condition, for example. So also the handling of the Phantom, because there are, I think, a fragile of the Siemens Phantom. So it is important for you to check to the Phantom itself before you measure the image slice thickness. This is maybe, but I don't know. You can check your Phantom. And the number three maybe is come from the measurement, because maybe any tilt or some other aspect miss in the measurement. So we can check the many factors affecting to the slice thickness. Okay, and if our result still out of the tolerance, so we can I think consult to the for example to the maybe to the head of our hospital to make adjustment and so on. Okay, thank you, Mr. Hanan, for your discussion and also your image. Okay, and I hope if you have, all of you, if you have any problem, you can send the images to me and to us, and we can discuss about the maybe about the possible factors affecting the errors. Thank you very much, Mr. Hanan.
Thank you, Mr. Anam, for your attention.
Okay, thank you so much. And we will move to the another participant. There is Miss Juliana that has raised her hand. Please open your mic and deliver your question.
Thank you, Dr. Anam, for the great presentation. My question is about spatial resolution, but still related with our topic today. As previously explained, reconstruction parameters such as slice thickness can affect cross-plane resolution or z-axis resolution. But I'm just curious, why is routine evaluation of spatial resolution rarely performed on cross-plane resolution measurement and only on axial resolution, Doctor? Like that. Terdengar kamu?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat again?
As previously explained, reconstruction parameters such as slice thickness can affect cross-plane resolution or z-axis resolution, like that.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just
then?
curious. Why is routine evaluation of spatial resolution rarely performed on
Oh, yeah.
cross-plane resolution measurement and only on axial resolution?
Oh, yeah. I see. Yeah. You are correct. That the slice thickness affect the z-axis resolution. But now in the world, not only in Indonesia, the mandatory parameters should be measured of the spatial resolution only in x and y axis. Okay, right? Yeah, it is. Yeah, you are correct. I think the z-axis resolution is also important, but unfortunately, the measurement of the z-axis is rather difficult. Okay, we should reformat the image first, and then I think the availability of the phantom for measuring the z-axis is also not available freely in the market, so it is difficult. So for the practical use, yeah, it is the problem, not the theoretical one, but the practical consideration. It is the important. So it is why, in my opinion, the z-axis spatial resolution is not mandatory to be performed, to be measured in the clinical setting. Okay, so it is the problem, and we should overcome the problem. Okay, and by using the QCT, it is basically very easy to measure the slice thickness. Okay, and it is not use the specific phantom. We can use the available phantom. So we do not need another phantom. No, we only use available phantom, such as the APM phantom, such as the CAT phantom, such as the RCR phantom. We can do that. We can do that by using the QCT, and we can measure the Z slice thickness either using point object phantom or PSF, point spread function, or using the H phantom. It is basically very easy to do, and I will show you how to measure them.
Okay, Doctor.
Okay, and I will share my screen first. How to measure the slice thickness in the z-axis, and then I will open the example of the image. For example, I will try to measure slice thickness. This is using the I'm sorry, maybe using the APM phantom. This is on the example using the APM phantom, or maybe we using the RCR phantom, for example. this one, and I should try this one. So we should use the very small slice thickness, like this. Okay. This is our image of the RCR Phantom, like this. Okay, and then I will make a reformation. Okay, in the sagittal or coronal planes, like this. Yeah, so it needs more time, yeah, because we also should calculate using the interpolation. This is our result, and then we use the interpolation. For example, interpolation, the linear one, this interpolation. At the beginning, we have only 213 slices, and after the interpolation, we wait 4 minutes. This is the result. We have the 355 slices, and then we can move from one slice to another slice. Maybe we use the point object for measuring the MTF. We choose this one, and this one. This one, and this one is the point. This point is usually used for measuring the MTF in the XY axis in the axial plane. And now I will save this image, sagittal image, and then I save. I only use in this example single slice. Of course, you can choose the multi-slice. We only save this image, single image, and then I click the OK. I'm sorry, because the computer is many. This one, and I save in the E folder. This is the sagittal. I save the name of file will be sagittal, and save. Okay, and then I close this dialog. Yeah, okay, again, and then I will open this image in the E folder, and then I look for the file sagittal, this one, and this is the result. Okay, and then I will measure the spatial resolution, this one, spatial resolution, and then I make the ZMTF, and we can measure, actually we can measure based on the point or based on the edge also, or can be. In this example, I will try using the point, and then I choose the manual one, and then I make the ROI like this. Yeah, we should the direction should be in y-axis, because if you change to the x-axis, meaning that you measure not in the direction like this. So it is important to check the direction. So actually, the direction over there is the Z direction. So in this example, the Z axis like this. And after that, we just calculate this MTF. This is our result. And this example, we have the MTF 10% is the 0.4. It is the Z spatial resolution using the point MTF. And also, we can also measure using edge MTF. And we choose the manual one, and then we use the ROI, and I locate the ROI in this position, for example, and then we use the shifting using the statistical one, and then the direction should be in y-axis, and after that we calculate. This is our result. Our result, okay, you can see here. This is our ROI, and this is our ESF, add spread function, and this one is the point spread function, and this one, sorry, my computer is problem. This one is the MTF of the z-axis. So basically very easy to do that using the indigeusity. Okay, but of course, currently there is no standard, and there is no recommendation for measuring the MTF until now. Okay, thank you, Juliana. Is
Thank you,
there
Dr.
any-
Anam.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. And I think this is the end of our morning session. We will continue our lecture session in 1 p.m. So we will break now. And thank you so much, Dr. Anam, once again. And see you again at about 1 p.m. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for all, and see you again at the 1 p.m. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.